I've done a bit of work around emergency management and preparedness stuff. So one of the things that always comes up in this scenario, or in these types of scenarios, is that it's really important to be thinking about how people integrate these types of tools and mechanisms into their daily practice on blue sky days that are not emergency days. So it's not about having a fire drill once every 3 months and trying to scramble and find this packet, but actually, figuring out ways that these can be integrated into your day-to-day life, that they're like around you all the time and you're using them. So it'd be cool to kind of take these bits that you've brought all together and say, all right, how do these show up when I'm cooking dinner, or when I'm in the laundry room downstairs and I bump into someone else? Kind of taking what you've already gotten and kind of building it into a more consistent way of use.
Yeah, one of the things that we identified during the interviews is that a lot of people don't really have any plans, right? So it's good to start out with, I guess, not a blue day plan, but we thought that that would kind of build the community and make people more aware so they can start implementing a smaller, I guess, bite-sized plans with, if they're cooking or something smaller, right? So they have that community to go off of.
Yeah, and I think one thing we also talked about is using sort of those status door hangers, not just for emergencies, but like an everyday thing.
Great.
And that's something that we can just like keep like accountable of. So, I just noticed like there's an orange thing on like Mrs. Sharpie's door. Let's check in. Oh, it looks like she's like hurt her hip and she really needs like help, for this week. So that's also something we talked about. But we want to sort of narrow in our focus for this project.
Awesome. Lauren, what did you like?
I love this idea so much, and as somebody that did have a building flooded in Sandy, I totally understand the importance of this. A few things that I was thinking about were how you could expand this beyond the building and to be something bigger. So maybe it's like a network across neighborhoods, and if you're a certain role in a building and then you move into another one, you could maybe take on that role in your building. Since people are moving around so often, you're kind of certified as the hacker or certified as something else. And then I was thinking about if you do have that marker on your door, it made me think of like LEED certification or something like that. Could you partner with local vendors or retailers to get discounts on stuff that's commonly needed during emergencies as part of this program, or maybe even have priority access to those things in like preparation times during emergencies?
Yeah, that's a good point. One of our team members who's out here was talking about like monetary incentives even. Like if you live in a building that's DAISY certified, maybe you get like a discount on the utilities or something related.
A subsidized building.
Yeah, because they would
like building management might be incentivized to have you do that, so that you're keeping better track of your building too.
Awesome. Any other?
Yeah, I think this is great. It makes total sense in a city like this where most people live in very, apartment building type situations where you have that kind of internal community. And when I think of like an emergency, I totally see the weather issue. I guess, do you guys have any ideas surrounding emergencies that just are not great? You're not able to prepare for them. So maybe this storm is coming, so you have that time frame to really kind of get your stuff together. But have you guys thought about ideas of things that come out of nowhere and what your building can do at that point in time?
Yeah, I think that kind of ties to the first question as well in terms of how do we, right, so we have these big storms and events, but how do we also prepare on a smaller level as well? So we're just hoping that, by creating this community, people can check in on each other and really rely on each other as well, right? Because as you said, with apartments, you might not really know people, on other floors or even on your own floor. So once you have that sense of community, it's really that fallback mechanism.
Yeah, and I think also the squad, like those roles can translate beyond emergencies, but like more immediate emergencies, like the connector will always be connecting people to information. The hacker might think of, so they're really good at like making up solutions on the spot. So those roles could transfer to like more immediate emergencies as well.